Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name is Ellie and we have chilled out chats about anything and everything. And today's chat I'm just extremely excited to talk about. I recently got tickets to Lana's tour next year and I'm just ecstatic, so I'm going with 3 of my friends. I was meant to see her 5 years ago. There was something wrong with her throat at the time, so she cancelled. So it's been a very long time waiting for this. But today's video is about her songs, and in particular we're going to be ranking all of her songs that she's released in her albums. I've created 5 different categories, and these are I like to think of myself as creative soul, so let's go through these real quick. The first category of songs are called the Born to Die songs, which doesn't necessarily mean they were born to die, but they are just the lowest in terms of how much I like them. Then the next one up, we've got God Knows I Tried songs. So she really did try to make a good song in my opinion, but it didn't quite reach it for me. Then we have the Sweet songs, which are good, but they are missing something to make them better. And then we have the Next Best American Record songs, which just miss that one little thing, or there's some reason why it didn't make the top list in my opinion. And then I couldn't decide on what to call the last category, so we've got Nectar of the Gods / Living Legend songs. These are the A+ songs. These are what changed me, what changed my life, and just spoke to me in a way that the other songs did not. If you do want to grab yourself a drink and a snack to watch with this, please do, because I feel like this is going to be a little bit of a longer one. But I'm going to try and keep it nice and short. I'm not going to go in depth about each song in particular, just ones that stand out for me. Starting with the Born to Die songs. On the Born to Die album, we are going to start with, and please don't hate me for saying this, Born to Die. The reason this is in the bottom category is just because I don't hate it, but it just stays at one level the whole way through, and it's like you're waiting for something to happen but it never does. And then we've got Carmen and Lolita in there as well. And lastly, from the Born to Die album, we have Bel Air. This just feels a bit like a lullaby rather than an actual song. You know, I do love a slow song, but this just feels a little bit flat and there's nothing really to it. Moving on to Ultraviolence, then we have The Other Woman. As much as I like the 50s vocals that Lana has in this song, as with a lot of songs on this album, there again isn't much to the song. And the only other song off this album to go in the bottom category is Guns N' Roses, just because it's a little bit slow. Moving on to Honeymoon, an album that I didn't listen to when it came out. I for some reason I wasn't into Lana at that point in time, even though I've been listening to her since I was 14. But this album has so many tracks on it that sound like Bond songs, like James Bond songs, and I just feel like she was going for that intro with this album. Like she may have been trying to do that, but there are a few songs on this album still that have made it into the bottom category. Firstly, we have The Blackest Day. The song title says it all. It is just a very depressing song. It's a little bit too dreary for me, if you know what that means. It needs more energy. And then we have 24 and Swan Song, and the last song from this album that made it into the bottom category is Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood. I almost didn't say that. I do love the sound of her voice in this one. She sounds very much like Elvis. There is a little bit of a tang to her voice and the way she pronounces words. That's pretty much the only thing I liked about it. So moving on to Lust for Life, which I do like overall. It's not one of her strongest albums, but there are some really good songs in it. But there are a few songs that fell a little bit flat and are in this category. We have Groupie Love. When the World Was at War, We Kept Dancing. The vocals and the backing track together sounds a little bit odd. It doesn't sound like they're complementing each other that well. And then we have Heroin and Change. In Change, she sounds a lot like Stevie Nicks, and I can see that she was going for an emotional song, but it didn't really get to me. It may have got to other people and that might be one of their favourite songs, but it's just missing something for me. Norman Rockwell is my favourite album by Lana Del Rey. It came out when I was abroad in Portugal, and I remember I just laying on a sunbed and listening to this with my earbuds in, and it is such a summery album as well, so it's kind of perfect, and that's why it's taken full position here. It is just the best, and I will go into more detail with the songs that I do prefer on the album, but there are only 2 songs that made it into this bottom category, and that is the next best American record. This is a bit of a skip for me, and it's not the next best American record. And then we also have Bartender, which one of my friends absolutely loves this song, but it's just slightly boring. I do like the premise of the song, having a secret lover and it being romantic because nobody knows about him, and it being complicated because if they ever did find out where her lover lived, then there'll be press everywhere. So I do like that story, but the song itself, the melody, just doesn't really capture that as much. Chemtrails Over the Country Club was such an interesting album when it came out. It was just after COVID, and it was a really nice surprise. Obviously there was going to be a lot of pressure after Norman Rockwell, because I believe a lot of reviewers also loved that album the best. This album did not reach those kind of heights, but it was still pretty good, and there's only 2 songs on this album that made it into this category. Dance Till We Die is on there because it needs more oomph, and For Free mainly because I don't like it when other people sing in Lana's songs. I know that when you're featuring someone it's normal for someone else to sing, but I'm a bit greedy and I just want Lana to sing in all of her songs. So Blue Banisters, oh, incredible. I think this was released in the same year as Chemtrails, and again, she knocked it out of the park with this one, and I do prefer this to Chemtrails. The songs that I did not like as much as the others and made it into this category: Interlude, The Trio. I don't think it's fair to review that song when it's not really a song. It's a very sort of Spanishy vibe instrumental, which I do like, and it has a really sick beat, but I don't feel like it can be reviewed as like a full-on song, so that's why it goes to the bottom. And it is what it is. When it comes on, I'm like, oh yeah, have a little dance, but apart from that, no. So the other song is Sweet Carolina. I can never remember this song exists until it comes on. The vocals are good, but it's just not my thing. Lastly, for this category, we've got Did You Know There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard, the longest sounding album in the world. The same thing with Blue Banisters. I popped the Judas Smith interlude into this category because I don't feel like I can really judge it, and it's a guy giving a sermon in a church, which is interesting. It's very dramatic, but it's not my thing. And again, Lana is not singing. You can hear her laughing in it, but that's about it. And then we've got Fingertips, which made it to the bottom because the tempo feels a little bit off for me, and there's also a lot going on, so it feels a little bit all over the place. And the last song from this album is Paris, Texas. Okay, moving on to the next category up, which is God Knows I Tried songs. Starting with video games. It may be because it's been overplayed a lot, and maybe that's a little bit unfair, but I also think the song itself, it needs a little bit more to it. It's very just sort of at one level, very similar to Born to Die. And then we've got Dark Paradise, and when I tell you, I've tried to like this song so much over the years, but I just can't. And I actually can't explain why I don't like this song that much. I guess it just doesn't really speak to me. There isn't something in it that I'm like, wow, that is really relatable. And then just running a few more, we've got $1 Million Man, This Is What Makes Us Girls, and Lucky Ones. And lastly, from this album, we have Blue Velvet, which obviously is a cover, and as much as it is a solid cover, it's not monumental. On the Honeymoon album, there is a few songs that made it into this category, starting with God Knows I Tried. And we also have Freak and Art Deco, which I've always listened to both of these songs and thought they were very similar to each other. And the reason both of them made it into this low category is that they need more power behind them. That's basically it. And then we've got the Burnt Norton interlude and Salvatore. Moving on to Lust for Life, God Bless America and All the Beautiful Women in It, Tomorrow Never Came, and Get Free. I do like the 50s sort of echoes in Get Free, But even though the verses are very good, the chorus does let the song down. Moving on to Chemtrails, we've got Dark But Just a Game, Yosemite, and Breaking Up Slowly. Again, Breaking Up Slowly is an alright song, but I don't like it when other people sing on her songs. On Blue Banisters, we've got Thunder, then we've got Nectar of the Gods. I do like the verses on this, but the chorus is just missing something. And then we have Living Legend and Cherry Blossom. Did you know there's a tunnel under Ocean Boulevard? I feel like I'm going to shorten that each time. I'm just going to say, did you know? So, did you know? Candy Necklace, even though it's a fairly good song, it's just a little bit too long and it gets very repetitive. And the amount of times Lana says Candy Necklace in it, I get it, that's the name of the song, but it got to a point where I was playing it in the shower, and as I came out of the bathroom, my partner Sam was like, so what's that song called? And we have John Batiste interlude. Okay, we're moving on to songs that I do prefer, so we're going to the middle category now, which is called Sweet. This is probably the most populated section, so here we go. Starting with Born to Die, I'm just going to run through these because there's quite a few. Off to the Races, Blue Jeans, Diet Mountain Dew, Radio, which I absolutely love, it is a summer tune, Without You, American, Body Electric, Gods and Monsters, and Burning Desire. And Burning Desire just makes me think of the video, which I absolutely love. It's just so vintage and so Lana. On Ultraviolence, we have Cruel World, which I think sets up the album so well. It's got that dark feel to it, which the whole album runs with. Then we have Shades of Cool, West Coast, and Sad Girl. And Florida Kilos. I love the vibe of this song. It is so just funky, I guess is the right word. On Honeymoon, we've got High by the Beach, which is such a cool song, and the music video is a big part of this as well, just about taking revenge. I love it. And we also have Religion, which is amazing, and it just tells the story of passionate love. On Lust for Life, we have Lust for Life and Summer Bummer. In My Feelings, and I really do like the vocals in this, and Coachella Woodstock in my mind. Norman Rockwell, otherwise known as The Best Album. Mariner's Apartment Complex, which I believe sets up the album incredibly well, but you can tell that she saves the stronger songs for later in the album. And then we have I Love You, Doing Time, and California. On Chemtrails, we have Tulsa, Jesus Freak, and Not All Those Who Wander Are Lost. I love the message of this song, it's very, very sweet. On Blue Banisters, we have Textbook and Black Bathing Suits, and I do love Black Bathing Suits. Then we have If You Lie Down With Me and Violets for Roses. Violets for Roses is a very special song, but it's not quite there, but it's very, very good. It's one of my faves. And Wildflower, Wildfire, which is quite difficult to say. And then on Did You Know, we have Sweet, and when her voice goes high in this one, it is very special. Then Let the Light In and Peppers. Here we go, we're getting to the good ones now. These are the next best American record songs. Starting with Born to Die, we have National Anthem. And I believe this song encapsulates the Born to Die album as a whole. Summertime Sadness may have made the top, but the fact there's been too many remixes of it, it let it down. And I hate the fact that that is the case. Still an amazing song, but it's just missed the top. Cola, I mean, come on. And Yayo, The Delivery. On the Ultraviolence album, we have Ultraviolence. This encapsulates the Ultraviolence album, and it's very good because it is the title track. It's just got that vintage feel that you normally get with Lana, and it's dark and it's romantic, I guess. Then we have Brooklyn Baby and Pretty When You Cry and Black Beauty. I remember I heard the first version of this song that came out. I don't even know if it was properly released, but I just found it on YouTube, and that version is better than this version. This is a little bit darker, but I understand it because it's on the Ultraviolence album. It's still an amazing, beautiful song, but that is why it's not on the top tier list. If we were talking about the first version of it, it would probably make the top. On Honeymoon, we have Honeymoon. And again, Lana's doing a really good job. The more albums she brings out, the title tracks are beginning to get better and they more represent the album they're on. With this song in particular, I honestly think she was going for a Bond intro. The backing soundtrack and her voice, the way she is projecting her voice just sounds like a James Bond intro song. And then just as you think it couldn't get better, it picks up at the end, and it's like an entirely different song, but it still feels like it's part of the same story. Then we have Music to Watch Boys To. Just the Pink Flamingos line just gets me every time. And Terence Loves You. On Lust for Life, we've got 13 Beaches, which I've always loved. It's always been a favourite. Cherry, which wouldn't normally be on this category. It would be lower down. But her Coachella performance this year has completely swung my opinion around. The way she performed and the actual lyrics of the song, it made me listen to it more, and it made me just think, actually, this is a banging song and it has so much attitude to it. And then we have White Mustang and Beautiful People, Beautiful Problems. Stevie Nicks, come on. They both have that old vintagey sound to their voices, and they complement each other so well in this song. Stevie Nicks is probably the exception to how I don't like when people sing it in Lana's songs. Okay, Norman Rockwell, there is a lot of songs in this category, so I'm just going to run through them quickly. Starting with Norman Rockwell, again, her title tracks have just got better as the albums have gone on. The piano, the voice, it's all you need in this song, genuinely. Then we have Love Song, Cinnamon Girl, How to Disappear, and The Greatest. And the chorus in The Greatest is simply perfect. Oh, and we also have Hope is a Dangerous Thing for a Woman Like Me to Have, but I Have It. Honestly, what is with these long titles? Moving on to Chemtrails, we're going to start with White Dress, which is a classic in my opinion, even though it's not that old. I hope that it's not going to be an underrated one as time goes on. Chemtrails over the Country Club, again, title track, really, really good. It does get a bit repetitive, otherwise it would have made the top. Wild at Heart. Can we just talk about how this song has the same chords as How to Disappear? Because I thought I was going mad the first time I heard it, and I remember when Chemtrails came out and I was like, hang on, I've heard this before, and I had to track down the song or sing the chords in my head, and then I was like, oh my god, How to Disappear. So if you hadn't noticed that already, I'm really sorry if I've ruined that for you. It's a nice little callback in a way. Gets a little bit confusing when you're listening to one and you want to sing the other, but apart from that, it's nice. And then on Blue Banisters, we've only got 2 songs in this category, and they are Arcadia and Dealer. Honestly, when this song starts, you absolutely know it's a Miles Kane song. And on Did You Know, we have The Grants, Did You Know There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Blvd. Again, the title track, I'm gonna stop saying it. Grandfather, Please Stand on the Shoulders of My Father While He's Deep Sea Fishing. One of my favourites, and very similar to songs that Rob Grant has released with Lana. For example, Lost at Sea, which is absolute beauty, and Hollywood Bowl. Then we have Margaret, Fishtail, and Taco Truck / Venice. What a song. Taco Truck in itself could be a really good song on its own, but the fact that she's included a snippet of Venice at the end there, or in half of the song, oh, it just makes it so good. And it's almost like saying, yep, I know Norman was the best album that I've released. Here's a snippet of one of the songs off that album. And I like that it adds a new level to it. It adds a few more instruments to the song, and it's not just the same, but it's still not as good as the original Venice. And I wonder where that's gonna come. Here we go. We've made it. We've made it to Nectar of the Gods / Living Legend songs. Starting with Born to Die / Paradise. If you hadn't already worked out, there is only one song left, and that song is Ride. It is my favourite Lana Del Rey song of all time. I love it so much that this song completely changed the way I feel about the Born to Die era. This is what the strings in the Born to Die album were meant to be used for. It was this song. There is absolutely nothing to fault about it, even the music video as well. It just adds to it, and the monologue. So yeah, the best song by Lana Del Rey is Ride. Come at me. On Ultraviolence, the first song that made it into the top category is Money, Power, Glory. I do have this really cool pin that my partner got me. I think it looks so cool with the rose. I had a sort of vague idea of the songs that were going to be in this top category, but this was not one of them. And I think I just forgot about it, and I don't know why that is, because this is a monumental song. It genuinely makes me want to cry. The vocals in the chorus, I want to listen to it when I say the song. It is just unearthly. Then we have My Way Up to the Top, which I believe, was the A&W before A&W came out. It is almost like the prequel to A&W. It's powerful, it's got a mood to it, it's just really moody, and again, it goes with that ultraviolence theme. And lastly, of ultraviolence, we have Old Money. I feel like it would be an underdog, but it's not to me, and for good reason. It is absolutely beautiful. It is vulnerable. The vocals, I'm hearing it in my head, and it's a song that makes me want to cry. It's just pure perfection. On Lust for Life, there is only one song that made it into this category, and that is Love. And I honestly believe this song should have been the album, as in it should have been called Love rather than Lust for Life, because this song encapsulates what the album is about. It's like a 70s album. It's all about love. I mean, there's so many songs about groupie love, In My Feelings, God Bless America, Beautiful People, Beautiful Pro. It's just very much about love in all its different forms, and the freedom that came with the 70s. Lust for Life does not even come close to this song. That's just how I feel. And with Norman, we have two songs that made it into this category. Starting with, you guessed it, Venice, because it is just so experimental, and I remember hearing it for the first time and being like, what is happening? And I remember thinking how long it was. Not that I was getting bored with it, but more like, how many more twists and turns can this song possibly take? It still gets me every time. That it takes so many, it's like literally like this, and I love that in a song. Happiness is a butterfly. What I love about this song so much is that it's not about the vocals, it's more about telling a story. It's telling a story about trying to just keep hold of happiness and the forms in which she actually gets happiness. It's just a very sweet, innocent sounding song, and I love it. The one song on Chemtrails that is the Nectar of the Gods / Living Legend is Let Me Love You Like a Woman. It's very to the point, it's a very simple message and pure. The emotion and the vulnerability comes across so well in Lana's vocals. On Blue Banisters, we have the song Blue Banisters. This is a prime example of how good the title tracks became. I can't even convey the amount of emotion that I feel from this song. It's expressed so well. I love the fact that it's an analogy. It's an analogy about a lost partner revolving around banisters and the colour they're being painted. So one colour in particular representing him, and other colours representing the fact that she has to move on and get over this person. And it's beautifully done. Speaking of beautiful, the next song is beautiful. The vulnerability comes across so well. I feel like that is one of the most important factors in a song for me, and this is one of those songs. And lastly, did you know A&W? Come on. I mean, the beat. The beat, the dancing, the attitude, the whole mood of the song is just 10 out of 10. And the last song of this video, and the song that made it into this category, is Kintsugi. Absolutely heart-wrenching. And again, I remember the first time I heard this song and I had to sort of take a moment and process the fact that I'd actually just listened to that after that first time. It has been one of my favourite songs by her. Talking about losing a loved one is incredibly hard. It's just incredibly hard to convey through lyrics, through a song. And I think this is just done so well in a way that's not depressing, but it sheds light on the emotions that you would actually go through and the things you would think about whilst experiencing the death of a loved one. On that cheerful note, thank you very much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed this, and please, if you want to pop down in the comments your favourite top 5 songs or top 10 songs, please do it, because I'd love to know. I'm very excited for the new album that will be coming out, and I will be reacting to that on this channel. She was, I think, meant to have released an album this September, and supposedly it was going to be called Lasso and be like a country album, and I was really excited about that, but it never happened. And then she went and got married, so a little bit of a change of plan there. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this, and please do share your favourites down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.